Russia and Ukraine start the week by trading attacks using drones, the latest developments from the ongoing war. And Bye Bye Birdie, the social media platform formerly known as Twitter, has a new look and a new name. The rundown starts now. This is Straight Arrow News, bringing you unbiased, straight facts. Today is Monday, July 24th. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kara Rucker. New video this morning as Russia and Ukraine trade attacks to start the week. Russian authorities accused Ukraine of launching a drone attack on Moscow early this morning. 2 buildings were hit, and one of the drones ended up near the Russian Defense Ministry's main headquarters. Monday's attack was the second on Moscow this month. Meanwhile, in Ukraine, Russian forces struck southern Ukraine with exploding drones at Ukrainian ports, the latest in a series of attacks on Ukrainian port infrastructure after the grain deal fell apart 1 week ago. On Sunday, at least 1 person was killed and 22 others were wounded in an attack on Odessa that severely damaged 25 landmarks across the city. Russia has described the recent strikes as retribution for last week's Ukrainian strike on a bridge linking Russia with Crimea. As the war continues to escalate, our investigative reporter Ryan Robertson has a new 2-part series playing out the what-if scenario of Russia deploying nuclear weapons and the likelihood of that happening. You can find the first of our 2-part series now at san.com. Conversations have started between the United States and North Korea over the American soldier who crossed into the North last week. That's according to General Andrew Harrison, the deputy commander of the UN command. Harrison says communication lines have been set up at the joint security area between the 2 Koreas. Private Travis King crossed the border last Tuesday while he was supposed to be on his way to Fort Bliss, Texas, to face military discipline after serving nearly 2 months in a South Korean prison on assault charges. General Harrison says the well-being of King remains the command's primary concern. And while he remains optimistic, there is no way to know how the conversations with North Korea will proceed. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu now has a pacemaker after going to the hospital unexpectedly over the weekend. Netanyahu says he is feeling excellent, is expected to be discharged today, just in time for Israel's lawmakers to vote on a controversial bill that limits Supreme Court powers to overrule some government decisions. President Biden says Netanyahu should not move forward with the plan. A vote on a key part of the plan will take place today after thousands of people, both supporters and critics, have taken to the streets in protest for months. The Department of Justice has told Texas to remove a Bowie border wall by 2 p.m. Eastern today, or else they'll slap the state with a lawsuit. Texas Governor Greg Abbott responded, saying, "We'll see you in court, Mr. President." This is a story we've been covering since before the buoys went up in the Rio Grande. The buoys are meant to serve as a deterrent for migrants crossing the border through the river. Miles of buoys were installed last week in Eagle Pass, Texas. The state representative in the district spoke with CBS's Face the Nation on Sunday. Critics of the buoys say migrants could get stuck underneath them and drown, calling the installation inhumane. Representative Tony Gonzalez says migrants have already been drowning, saying the government's concerns are coming too late.
Should those buoys be removed now?
I don't think the buoys are the problem. Honestly, Margaret, this has been happening every single week. We see people drown. Last year, there were hundreds of migrants that are drowning. I'm glad it's getting some attention. There is a disconnect between what is happening at the top and the person at the ground that is delivering, that is doing the actual function.
Move aside Twitter and say hello to X. That's what Twitter CEO Elon Musk is now calling his social media platform. On Sunday, Musk proposed the new direction for Twitter. Along with the new name, he is replacing the well-known Bluebird logo with an X. The change took effect this morning. Musk tweeted that the idea of changing the logo is, quote, to embody the imperfections in us all that make us unique. The letter X is no stranger to Musk. He also owns his rocket company SpaceX, founded the startup X.com, which led to PayPal, and his Tesla auto brand has a Model X. Last October, Musk tweeted that buying Twitter was, quote, an accelerant to creating X, the everything app. The weekend box office was dominated by Barbie and Oppenheimer, sparking a Barbenheimer phenomenon, one the movie industry has been in need of. The two films are a far contrast from one another, but appealed to millions of moviegoers, Barbie drawing in $155 million during its first 3 days in theaters, the highest opening of 2023. And Oppenheimer brought in $80.5 million in its debut. Together, the duo is eyeing the second highest box office weekend ever. It was a weekend revival for an industry in need of one. Ticket sales have been down 20% compared to 2019 pre-pandemic. Those are your top stories this morning. Thank you for choosing SAN as your trusted source. Be sure to check out more of our work at straightarrownews.com. And you can also find the latest rundown episodes available as a podcast on all major podcast platforms. Unbiased, straight facts, that's SAN. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Until then, I'm Kara Rucker. Have a great day.